So the first time I discovered racing was probably just as soon as I got, to the world. I mean, I was just a few weeks old when I went to my first racetrack with my father, watching him race. And obviously I cannot remember anything, but that must have been the first time. So very, very early for me. The first race I went to was probably when I was 2 months old, apparently. It was somewhere in Europe because I had to get a passport made, but I didn't know what my name was going to be apparently also. So on my first passport, my name was Boy Hansen. So I traveled to Europe 2 months old and went to my father's race, and obviously I must have loved it because I'm still in rallycross. So my first race team that I raced for outside my family race team was probably Veloce Racing in karting. I did junior karting with them internationally and had a really good time. I mean, karting, as you can see, is such an amazing sport and really, really lovely time. So, but I think the first time I went outside my family race team and not in karting was probably with OMSE in rallycross. I won the RX Lights category in 2015, and the prize was a race in Argentina in the World Championship, and that was the first time I really felt like I was outside my family and working with them, and I got to the final, so it must have been a pretty okay team as well. The first time I went on the top of the podium was probably with my father, because I remember in rallycross it was always allowed that you can bring your sons or daughters up on the podium, and there's many pictures of myself and my dad both holding me and me standing on the podium with him, cheering for his win. Obviously he was so successful back in his days, and I got to cherish a lot of great moments with him, and still a few that I can remember, so that are lovely memories from the first time on the podium. Sebastian Loeb was probably my first idol. I remember having autograph cards on him on my wall when I was a kid, because my father was also at Citroën at the time. But my biggest idol throughout my career, and still to this date, is my father. And if I can be anything like him, both successfully and as a person, I'm very happy. The first time I was maybe professional driver, I think must have been in 2019, for myself at least. It was the first proper time outside Peugeot Sport, and I wasn't the junior driver in the team. I was having an equal status as my brother, and I mean, it was really, really good times. And I mean, I've been fighting. I was always very young during my career, both in rallycross and in karting, all the way up the categories, and always the youngest one on the grid, always the rookie, or the youngest, and used to be referenced as one of the top ones, and I was leading the championship that year as well a lot. So maybe that was my big breakthrough to become a professional. My first collision would probably be one. I have had many, to be honest. We need to clear that out of the table. But the first maybe proper one I had was with Kevin Hansen in Höljes. There's a great clip of me coming out of the Joker lap. We're having a big scramble and he pushes me off and I almost crash. But in the end of the day, my father always says, that you need to race people like you want them to race you. And if they race you very hard, you need to race them hard back. So it's a lot of trading like that. And I mean, there's many moments that I've learned a lot from in hard racing. But at the end of the day, that's what I always come back to, and the wiseness of my father. The first advice I got given when starting to race was, I think, a very nice one that everybody in motorsport, both working around it and driving and so on, should always remember, and that is to have fun. And that I've kept with me every day on my motorsport journey, and every day I got to the track. Obviously there's times where it's tough to enjoy, but also in the end of the day, this is a dream that we're all living and enjoying together. So to have fun and smile is probably the best advice I've been given.